Giedo van der Garde is well known for driving LMP2 cars in the World Endurance Championship, but did you know he also had a short career in Formula 1? While his time in F1 was short and unremarkable, his explosive exit from F1 in 2015 redefined driver team politics, destroyed any chance he may have had in F1, and brought a fan favourite stalwart of Formula 1 racing to its knees. This is the story of Giedo van der Garde, his motorsports career, and his battle with the courts. Van der Garde was born in the Netherlands in 1985, and from the start he was drawn to racing. He won the Dutch National Karting Championship in 1998, was voted Best Rookie of the Year in the Super A World Kart Championship in 2001, which he became World Champion of the following year, and in 2003 he raced cars for the first time in Formula Renault 2000. The rest of his feeder series career offered glimpses of potential, but failed to replicate the success of his karting days. His best result was winning the 2008 Formula Renault 3.5 series, and after a long and decently talented stint in GPT, he managed to secure a sponsorship deal with KEMMEI F1 to become their reserve driver for the 2012 season. He debuted in Friday practice for the 2012 Chinese Grand Prix. Van der Garde then moved up to full-time driver alongside Charles P for the 2013 F1 season. His performance was pretty decent for a Caterham driver, managing to get the struggling Caterham to P14 in the Hungarian Grand Prix, as well as qualifying in Q2 for the Belgian race. However, he was displeased with the poor performance of the Caterham team and joined Sauber as test driver and reserve in 2014. He participated in 7 practice sessions for Sauber during 2014, and his sponsorship money linked him to a full-time seat for 2015. Unfortunately for Giedo, things weren't so simple. Despite his sponsorship money practically keeping Sauber afloat and a guarantee that he would drive for Sauber in 2015, he was informed in November 2014 that his services were no longer required, with the team electing to run Felipe Nasr and Marcus Ericsson instead. Van der Garde felt that this was a breach of contract and an unfair dismissal from the team, and filed an arbitration complaint in Swiss courts in December. In March 2015, 2 weeks before the Australian Grand Prix to start the season, the Swiss courts upheld Van der Garde's contract and ordered Sauber not to take any action to deprive Van der Garde from competing in the 2015 F1 season. Van der Garde then applied for an Australian court to enforce the Swiss award so that he could drive in Melbourne. This award was successful, and he obtained a court order which compelled Sauber to place him in the seat for all sessions of the Australian Grand Prix. Sauber, however, responded by saying the cars were tailored for Ericsson and Nasr already, and would not permit a possible safety risk to the team or the drivers through the chassis not fitting Van der Garde correctly. Sauber also stated that by informing the media of the case, Van der Garde had violated a confidentiality clause in his contract. This appeal was not upheld, however, and the hearing was adjourned for submissions in contempt of court against Sauber's team principal Manisha Kaltenborn. Sauber were now in danger. They could not allow Van der Garde to race, but they risked lawsuits against their team principal and seizure of the team's assets if they continued. Sauber did not compete in Friday practice under threat of the cars being seized for disobeying court orders. Van der Garde then called a temporary hiatus on the day before the race, saying he would forego racing in Melbourne but look towards a more permanent solution with the team for the future. Sadly, it would never come. On March 18, Van der Garde's Sauber contract was terminated in exchange for a compensation of $16 million. He expressed regret, stating that due to the events he was unlikely to ever race in Formula 1 again, and intended to promote the rights of drivers whose contracts were not honoured, drawing support from drivers in the Formula 1 paddock. This helped establish a more open contractual relationship in Formula 1 and changed the driver-team dynamic considerably. Although he was linked for a possible seat at Manor in 2016, he eventually declined and went on to race sports cars and prototypes in the WEC instead, where he continues to this day. Giedo van der Garde's career may have been brief and unsuccessful, but his efforts to right a wrong nearly destroyed the Sauber team and sent shockwaves through the Formula 1 community. At the end of the day, Van der Garde says while he regrets losing his Formula 1 chance, he's happy in endurance racing and hopes to continue his success there into the future. Thank you guys for watching this video. I made it on rather short notice, so apologies if the video is quite short, but I would really appreciate it if you could like and subscribe, but even more if you could leave me a comment with some feedback and tell me what I can improve. I'm always looking for ways to get better as a YouTuber. Until then, thank you guys so much for watching, and goodbye.